what is the best piece of advice you've received or the best piece of advice you can provide? You can think on it.
Best piece I would give is that if it's in you, then do it. If you feel it, if it's on you, just go do it. Don't worry about the outcome. Just go do it. I've always lived by that. I've always jumped off the porch. I don't need a game plan. I don't need a business plan. You could jump out of a plane and build your plane at the same time. I'm gonna go jump first, and I figure it out along the way. I figure it out. I believe we can't be what you don't see. Whether
Correct.
it's the vision God gives you or somebody in front of you, I want to be like him. How can I learn from him? So my OG found me before I found him. He watched me before I watched him. And then when time was right, he pulled me to the side. He's in the same company, same industry, but he was a higher up level, right? So he said, I want to pull you to the side and show you how this game really works. I'm gonna put you in rooms with the rest of us who we need a successor. You're gonna be that person. You are our protege.
One of the questions I had in the queue was there something that the world doesn't know about AJ? That's one of them right there, but
To myself type thing that I know about me, everybody should know about. Won't even believe it because I'm always outside. I'm always, when you see me, I'm on the go. You never really see me sit still. So people assume I'm always doing that. Nah, I'm not. And I cook too, so
he can answer this question and he ain't got to. Ladies, if y'all look, this man does not play around. Hey, what's going on, Talks with Ken community? Welcome to another episode. This is the place where motivation lives, inspiration thrives, and personal growth resides. I am so happy to have you all in the building. I'm truly excited to have my guest on today. And there's one that I think that you guys really need to tune into because you're going to get a lot of gems. And so I hope you can be a fly on the wall to this conversation. And we're going to touch a lot of different areas. So you really want to be tuned in today, okay? And without further ado, I want to introduce you to AJ Gladney.
Let's go, man. Thank you for having me on, Ken. I appreciate it, big dog.
Man, I'm so happy you are here. So I want to get things started out for my viewers.
All right.
Who is AJ Gladney?
Man, I'm a man amongst the people, man. That's all I am. I'm a godly, respecting man, a man of morals and principles, a leader to my tribe, to my community, and a man that understands his godly ability to create.
I love that. Someone who knows who he is. So,
Yeah.
of course, AJ won't toot his own horn. And one of the big reasons I wanted this young gentleman on the show, because he probably won't say it himself, he has tokened the name of the people's champ. And I don't say that lightly. So I've had a chance to meet AJ in various areas of expertise, and he has outshined them all in every area. So I first want to get into a little bit about who he is and how we cross paths for the viewer. Then we get a little bit into the young AJ, what really made him get to this point. Because you're going to see, guess that he has had his hands in a lot of pots and he has successfully done so with a smile, may I add. So, one of the things that I brought AJ on today is because we crossed paths. I don't know if you noticed, AJ, but we crossed paths when he was formerly with Reveal Wealth, I believe, and we'll get into a little bit more of that. And AJ, in that venue, me and my wife, we had a little bit of capital, and we didn't really know what to do with our funds. We actually met with two other individuals under AJ's umbrella, and then by way of my sister-in-law, he was like, hey, you really need to meet this guy, AJ. You really need to meet him. He can get you guys right. I said, I didn't have any idea who AJ was. It's just that I know the individuals I was talking to was pretty much under, this gentleman's umbrella. So how I met him first was in the financial world, the financial literacy world. And I pretty much say that I'm a avid learner of finances. But even individuals who think they know about finances need help from a professional. So, AJ, what is your current role and responsibilities now, today?
Got you. So now I own my own firm. It's called Cardinal Financial Strategies. So I still am in the financial space. I now consult. So my job is now to help individuals minimize taxable dollars, increase overall income and revenue, and really put professionals and other business owners in the space of having clear financial plans going forward.
Yeah, I want to follow it up. How did you go about being in that financial space organically? Was it something planned? Was it something that you aimed for as a child, or what? How was it?
Man, so I would say give my mom her flowers. When I was like 11, 12 years old, I started working at probably 12 years old, 13, doing construction. She, unbeknownst to me, had me as a signature writer on her credit card for Walmart. She did. So she put my credit up from day one. Uh, and in between me being 11, taught me how to cook, taught me how to take care of myself, and it taught me about credit, checkbooks, balances, debits, and all that good stuff. So I learned from her how to really be monetarily aware of how to watch your money. And so from that, she remarried, and my stepdad's an entrepreneur, self-made guy, solid. When I graduated high school, I was already in the space of being an entrepreneur, like trying different things in middle school, high school. I would sell candy in middle school. I would make these little plastic keychain, like twisty things and sell them. I mean, I was selling all kind of stuff. I was a barber. At one point in time, bootleg, failed at that. I fell into the streets after high school, selling dope with my connections that I knew in the
Yeah.
city. So I fell into that lifestyle of what most of us, a lot of us fall into when you come from a underserved background, single
Yeah.
parent household, just trying to
Yeah.
find the money. And so
Yeah.
my stepdad gave me my first book out of high school called Automatic Millionaire
I
by
love that book.
David Bach.
I love that book.
First book I read out of high school, it taught me about compound interest, raise, how to pay yourself first. And from that moment on, it helped me focus on money. But I went until I was probably about 32 years old where I got into the career of financial services. I had moved to Charlotte out of Greenville. I got laid off in 2014, 15. I moved to Rock Hill with my cousin, ended up getting a job in Charlotte. I was doing APAR debt collections with a company who did housing for college campuses. And by this time, I had just went back to school and got my degree in accounting. So I kind of floated outside that space. Thought I wanted to be a CPA. So while I'm in Charlotte, I get a LinkedIn message from a recruiter from New York. I looked at it, read it, I said, New York Life, I don't know who that is. Let it go. I ain't trying to sell no
Yeah.
insurance. I'm
Yeah.
good. Then I get a phone call the same week from another recruiter from the same office. Hey, just want to follow up. My partner sent you a message via LinkedIn. Would love to have a talk with you. I said, listen, I'm be honest. I know nothing about y'all. I see sales. I don't want to be in sales. I'm good. He said, well, hold up. You don't know about us. Go on the website, do some research. I'll call you in a couple of days. I said, you know what? Fair enough. In my mind, I'm gonna give you a reason why I'm gonna tell you no again when you call back. That's how I looked at it. Then I said, worst case scenario, he may give me a line somewhere else for a job. That so I said, bet I'll do that. Went online that night and I seen everything about New York from a services standpoint. I seen the investment accounts. I seen the community service. I seen their they have a thing called is a word for it, where they had like different markets for like Chinese market, African American market, young professionals, women's, and all these things laid out that they geared towards specifically for support. So you know what? I'm interested now. Let me hear more about what I'm seeing on here. So he called me, went in for an interview. We talked for a legit hour and a half, 2 hours. He said, listen, if I can help you become a financial advisor, licensed, be a leader in your community, and show you how to build your own platform book of business where you signed up. I said, hell yeah, I'm on. And that
Yeah.
was it. Mind you, I went from a seller position to all commission 100%. 100% commission. You eat what you kill. In a brand new
Man, don't
city,
work, you don't eat.
nobody in. I knew my cousin was there, but he was barely in and out. I had a homeboy there. That was it.
So I wanna you said a lot of nuggets in this. I don't know if you understood this, but let's go back to your upbringing with your mom and your stepdad.
Mom, I've been my stepdad. I'm probably about 15, 16.
Okay. So your mom, that young for you, I wanted to say how big of a blessing that was for you. Cause in my
Yeah.
household, my mom and those around us, we didn't have that understanding of financial literacy at all. And obviously your mom knew enough to pass that torch kind of down to you by way of experience, by way of just having the thing is when you're that age, you had to show some type of acumen that your mom was like, all right, he's smart enough to understand what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
And for you to be able to grasp that, even unbeknownst to you or subconsciously, you started to move and shake on your own finding your own hustle in high school. I did some stuff like that too,
Yeah.
CDs and candy and stuff like that. But I was just doing it really because of everybody else. But I would sit here and say that you were even a trendsetter and doing stuff like that. And then one of the statements that I live by is try quick, fail fast, because it's one of the things that it'll quickly reveal if it's for you or if it's not. And you were getting that type of training in your adolescence. Now, did you know that you were kind of different in that retrospect? Did you know that or no? You just doing AJ. You know, I mean, because to me, I find that really big, and I'm getting to this point because um, it was one psychologist I was reading. I forgot what book. It's many books that I read, but he was like, no one wants to really understand that they were shaped and molded in their adolescence, and most of us don't get away from it. That person that you were in your adolescence, whatever shaped and molded you, because some people have a lifetime of trauma and afraid to dare to do anything different, anything new. But I'm pretty sure you had your fair share of bumps and bruises in learning, but when you first got into the financial space, was it all sunshine and roses, or did you have any doubts on what you wanted to do going forward?
So my mindset shifted around the age of 32. So before 32, I was always chasing a dollar,
Gotcha.
always chasing money, doing whatever to get some money. Again, when I came out of high school, of course, trying the stereotypical street stuff, but I also was a barber for a summer. I was a realtor for 2 years. I had my own catering company for a year. I was being taught how to do custom automotive interior. I was being mentored for opening my own detail shop. I was still working 2 jobs. I was always dibbling dabbling in something to learn a skill set. And so that's always been in me to kind of go out and get it. But once I learned that it's less about the money you're chasing and the service you're providing, what's the value that you're giving?
Yes.
I learned that New York life, give first. When you give a value first, the money gonna come. That's my first time learning, okay, forget the money. Do I enjoy what I do? Do I enjoy the journey of what I do, the process of what I do? Do I enjoy the overall business acumen of what I'm doing to create wealth?
Yes. I'm glad you said that. You actually jumped the gun on it because I was going to get to that later after we talked about everything that you do.
Yeah.
But in everything, I'm going to jump the gun. Everything that I've seen you in every area was in the area of service. And whether you're religious or not, the good book I always say that he who serves, you
I'm
know,
telling you, that was my
and
first time learning that I uncovered a passion I didn't know I had and a purpose with my skill sets and gifts in New York life. I learned that.
I'm gonna tell you one of the real reasons why I was so happy. And I even spoke with you one time of trying to like, man, I might need to come on with y'all because I too believe in providing a service that's gonna for everyone's betterment, not just my
Yeah.
own. But of course, nobody want to work for free. I understand that, but it's like it's also good to be able to compile your passion with your gift and the gift of service, utilizing the knowledge that you've accumulated over the years. So I always try to tell my viewers is it ain't everybody wants to glorify the end result, but they didn't know what AJ went through in his adolescence. All the hustles that he had to do, the ups and downs, the gaining a better acumen or even dialect through your process of adventure. So I think that's really big for people to understand because you didn't come in the game of polished product. Yeah.
No,
you know,
sir.
but now, currently at Cardinal, what would you say is your main focus, emphasis on your day to day? I know you probably delegate a whole bunch, but what is your main focus when you go in office?
For me, it's client acquisition.
Okay.
Presenting a service that I deem valuable to those who are in need for it and showing them what that looks like. So I deal with small business owners, I deal with other entrepreneurs, corporate professionals, small families, those who are in that space of needing that next level of guidance for their financial well-being.
Do you find that you have to go out to seek these individuals, or do these individuals like, look, I need help, or do they come to you? How does that
I
work?
gotta go see them or at least initiate the conversation.
Okay. To
Yeah.
for them to know that you're there, I guess, And I say that through all your years, because again, with my personal story, me and my wife, we had funds sitting around, but we didn't know how to allocate them. We didn't know how to really plan for the future. We wanted to plan, and I know it was a big part of you guys helping us with our financial planning. We actually still running that same play. And um, doing your years of service, what do you think is the biggest hang up for individuals that are wanting to invest, wanting to financial plan?
I would say lifestyle. A lot of us who got money or were the first time getting it, or you built a lifestyle that you have to maintain, and it takes you making the money to maintain it. So what I mean by that,
I love it. I love it.
when you're overspending, it may not feel like because you have it, but you wake up, you have nothing really asset wise to back it up. So
I
you have a
understand.
car payment, you have a mortgage, you have credit card bills, you have student loans, you have personal loans, you have store loans, store cards. Like you have all these expenses and debts that you can afford, but can you really afford it?
Mm,
Because our insurance costs what, right? Most of us have built a lifestyle that we can afford but not maintain. What I mean by that, your highest earning years are young when you're younger. You
mhm.
get your peak might be about, for me, about 40, 45 and up is our peak in earning. Well, whatever I've built a lifestyle on for the last 30 years, if I get to be 70, 80, it's gotta be affected. Whether I gotta go all the way down and go like let go of everything,
Yeah.
or I can maintain it.
Yeah.
So I try to help folks find that maintaining balance. Where I want you to spend money, enjoy, travel, save, invest. That way, when you're older, it's not a dramatic change from like I gotta now get rid of all my stuff and sell
Gotcha.
whatever. And I
Yeah.
also don't want you to be so cheap where you don't spend the money and you get older, you blow it all once you start turning 60, 70 years old. Like it's finding a healthy balance. And most folks haven't found that balance. And now when I come in and talk to you and give you guardrails, it seems like it's too much. Now hold up. I've been doing a now bigger picture, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're just used
Look,
to a
look,
certain lifestyle.
I'm gonna be a testament to that. I'm gonna give you my example of what happened. Because I always say it has to be a mindset. It has to be a mindset shift first. And I say that because, and I even use this with some individuals that are younger than me now. Now I'm not old, but I'm not as young as I once was. It's kind of like when you have a kid. I'm gonna say this. It's like when you have a kid. Nobody's ready to have a kid, okay?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things to where that money that you used to use when you're going out on Fridays, farmers market on Saturday, or your mimosas on Saturday morning, stuff like that. That now turns into Pampers. That now turns into daycare money. That now turns into doctor visits. So it ain't that you didn't have the money. It's just that your allocation of those funds need to be dispersed elsewhere.
That's
So
it.
I had to learn that same thing with you guys, because, and this is how we kind of. You mentioned the book Automatic Millionaire. I think that's what Automatic Millionaire. That's one of the books that I love. Now, what happened was we always had this lifestyle creep, in which I believe a lot of other individuals do too, to where you get more money, you spend more money. You can, afford the bigger vacations, the bigger house, the more fancier, clothes, cars, stuff like. And then what happens is AJ comes in. Hey, well, you got this much money. You can move here. You can move here. You can ship there. Oh,
You're doing too much now. You're doing too much.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I think that organically is like ho. Now, what did I do to get over that hurdle myself? Because at this point, I'm coming to you guys because I really, really want to do better with my financial situation. I want to make sure I do have that healthy balance in now and later. And so what I did, and by way of one of the individuals that you introduced me to, he was like, just put this amount aside per month and just have that automatically coming out of your check. And you're just automatic. It just goes over here. You don't see it. So I already had my 401k stuff coming out. And of course, taxes and insurance, all that stuff automatically comes out. But by me putting my financial future in the pictures, I've already been the one to pay me first, that kind of a deal. And so in that situation, I was like, okay, and I live by percentages. He who understands percentages earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And so I took that advice from you, your team, and did an automated, hey, pull these funds out. And to this day, I just don't touch it. I don't touch it. Now I add too. I will add too. But what was crazy, organically, my lifestyle really didn't change that much. And it really did.
People have the money, they just gotta find the pocket in which they spend it. If you make 30K a year, 20K a year, yeah, you gotta find a way to make some money. But once you above the comfortable lifestyle, you spending money and having a good time, you got the money to spend and
Okay.
invest. You have it.
And what do you say to the individuals say, I don't have enough money to invest? Like, man, it's hard out here. What do you say to the individual?
I would say compared to what? And what do you deem not having money?
Okay,
Like, do you
really
have
define
bills
it.
paid and nothing to spend after that? Then yeah, you ain't got no money. If you got bills paid, you get to go on a trip and travel and hang out, shop, you got some money. You got some
Man, I like
discretionary income is what I look for. What is your discretionary income?
I like that. Is now since before we get into the next part, while we're talking about investments, are you a advocate for diversification as far as real estate, crypto, index, mutuals, or you say I've seen them all. I'm okay
Yeah.
with diversification, but this is like my main thing. What's your advice to that?
So I believe in all of those things have a place in your portfolio based on whatever percentage of weight you want to allocate it to.
Okay.
So for me, I'm more so ETFs, business, and real estate. That's what I am.
Me too. I don't know why that's probably a surprise to anybody, but yeah, that's probably why you on here. Yeah.
That's why we work. That's why we work.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly me, and that's my focus. And of course, like me, I'm in my 40s, early 40s, and I do believe over the years, I do believe a lot of trial and error. 20s, I was just blowing stuff. 30s was
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I got to get real serious about this thing, and then 40, like you said, trying to get to that peak area. It's like okay, I need to really allocate these areas to where it's like building making my foundation a little bit thicker. Let me change gears on you. Now let me go into the second area in which I was able to see AJ thrive in. And this was by way of I don't know if you introduced me to it or it might have been someone else. It might have been my sister-in-law again. But you're like, man, you need to come to AJ's cocktail
Yes,
hour.
Christine.
It was AJ's cocktail hour. Explain to my viewers what the cocktail hour was or
So
is.
yeah, so AJ Social and Cocktail, that was my way of creating a Charlotte in Greenville. So living in Charlotte for 4 years, coming back home, I said, okay, where the black folks at? Where are my black politicians, my corporate professionals, my attorneys, my CPAs? Like, where are the black doctors at? How can I meet those who I met in Charlotte here in Greenville? So I just started hosting my own events. As I met people at my time here, as I reconnected with old peers, reconnected with past movers and shakers. So they started putting me in rooms with those in the Boule, those in Jack and Jill, those in the city office, those in corporate executive offices. And started kind of finding my people. And along the way, I ended up meeting a guy named Austin. And Austin was doing events called DPS, Dinner Party Series. There was black professionals there all the time. So I got back home in April 2019. I think I went to one of his events around like May, June. They had it at the Saskatoon. And I met some old faces who I didn't see in a while. I said, oh, you back at home? I see you on Facebook, Instagram. I not seen you back at home. Good to see you. Like, whoop-de-woo. So we connected with people there who I already knew and new faces there. I said, okay, you know what? I'm doing my own events starting in November. He's doing his once a quarter. I'm gonna do mine once a quarter on opposite months to give us something to do every month in that quarter. So I launched in November, and the deal was let's go to a restaurant or a bar we've never been to before. Let's just politic and hang out. Let's get a cocktail. Let's get some food. Let's just have a drink and smile and meet someone new. It went from I did it in November and again in January. Then COVID hit 2020, so I couldn't do it again after January. Then I re-engaged it I think in 2020, and it went from December 2020 is when I reengaged it at the Hyatt Hotel at the lounge they had downstairs when I reengaged it. And it went from a once a quarter thing to once a month. Now it's twice a month. But for the second time, I'm bringing in guest speakers. I'm bringing in entertainment. I'm bringing in more of a additional uh, networking idea versus a social engagement.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
first Tuesday was the social side, Thursday was the networking side, and then it became once a week, twice a week doing something.
I want to give my viewers a chance to kind of get the insight from the man on this. How does one take an idea from thought matter? You Now you already told us that what kind of young individual you were, who you were or who you became in your 20s and 30s. How do you take thought matter, new city, not in Charlotte, in Greenville, see the void, and then put pieces in place to like, you know what? I'm gonna put this together, and this is who I'm gonna get. This person, this person, this person. How did you go about getting all that together, like from nothing?
Part of it was when I was in Charlotte, I knew I'm the new kid here. So I gotta at least make enough
Okay.
noise amongst the groups to be known and seen. So I went from going on LinkedIn every day, sending out a message to somebody I want to connect with and offering them coffee and conversation. I was paying for coffees 5 times a day. All kind of energy, just to meet people, tell you who I am, who are you, how can I help you, how'd you come to Charlotte? You might be a transplant, might have been here a couple of years. Who can I meet within your circle? What room should I be in? What organization should I be a part of? So I joined the Urban League Young Professionals up there in Charlotte. I joined like 2 other young professional groups. I would host kickbacks at my house. I would cook, have a cookout. We play card games, Monopoly, Uno, Spades.
Oh,
Did all of that. At one point in time, I even would host workshops at my house. So to the backtrack, when I moved to Charlotte, I bought a house
excellent.
that same year. I got there in 2015, closed on it December 2015. So again, 100% commission, bought a house, bought a brand new car, but trying to figure out how to make money. So learn how to politic in Charlotte. I really did. Charlotte taught me how to really work the room and expose myself to doing more speaking. I cannot stand the camera to save my life. I cannot stand being up front to save my life. I cannot stand having to be a center of attention to save my life.
I was going to ask you a question to follow up on that, but go ahead.
Can't stand it. Even to this day, it makes me anxious. But I had to learn how to get uncomfortable, how to learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable in Charlotte. I did. I had to. And
Well,
so,
I seen a post some time ago about what it looks like when an introvert has to be like an extrovert or something like that, and I was like, AJ is not no introvert. Are you telling me
man,
that
I'm
you're an
telling you,
introvert?
I am a true introvert, but I have a gift and a talent that's always pushed me out to the front naturally. So it just makes it look like I do this all the time, but I really in my head, I'd be triple thinking, all right, you doing this right, you saying this right. Like it's a game in my head.
So, and one of those things is you have something in mind's eye that's bigger than your fear.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure.
You know.
And I'm a previous athlete, right? So growing up
Uh-huh.
playing sports, being recruited through colleges, this is my arena. Business and doing this is like my sport. That's how I look at it.
Love it, AJ. I love it, man. That's a whole different conversation in itself because I believe a lot of lessons learned in sports is
Yeah.
very, very tangible and it relates so much to our day to day living. So, you shine some light on that. So, yeah, former athlete turned people's champ. I understand
Yeah.
that. And then when you talking about the cocktail social, how did you get others to see the greatness in you? Just like, you know what, I want to be a part of something that or did they also see and fill the void here in Greenville? How did they go about like, I want to help this guy out. I want to do this with him?
I'm gonna say both.
Okay.
So most people who knew me before I left see me on social media posting my highlights. I did a thing called Topic Tuesday, where I would give a new financial topic every Tuesday. I would find an article, read up on it, related to my clientele base and what I've seen and help clients do, and post it every Tuesday. Topic Tuesday, boom, throwing it out there. And so that validated my new skill set in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then people see me take photos in certain arenas in Charlotte on magazine page front covers, being in rooms with certain groups and people. Those who weren't close to me while in Charlotte got to see me close via social media and say, okay, he left for a reason. He really getting this thing up there in Charlotte. We salute it. So like they got to see that track record of me go from Greenville to Charlotte and build myself up. So now coming back, when I re-engage, it's boy, we're glad you're back, man. We see what you was doing. Love to have you home, man. So it just the city embraced me as a hometown kid. So I've always been shown love from that standpoint coming back home. And then meeting people who weren't from Greenville along my way, who got to see me be validated from Greenville's people. Like it just all kind of mixed together.
So you organically kind of created a brand that you didn't even know you was creating at the time. And a
Nah.
lot of people that was probably sitting on the sideline looking at you like, man, he really doing this thing. Like he really doing this thing. And whatever he got, I want a piece of it. I want to be a part of what he got.
And the way I was raised, I'm very humble. I
Yeah.
never think I'm too big. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, even my OG, my mentor right now tells me, listen, you forget you are AJ. Like you are somebody that has some status. You can't do what you always used to do, and you must think of yourself as someone better than what you are. So I got you. You're right. But I just don't like to think myself as being too big. I really don't. I just can't stand it.
That's a bar. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's I believe in flow. You know, I think things flow to you and through you
Yeah.
having a spirit like you do. Because it's like, and I'm gonna get into a whole topic on this after I introduce the next thing that you're a part of. But that goes into what you're saying. But I want to touch this part of the mentor because this I think the second time I heard you say it.
Cheat code.
Do you look, do you think that having a mentor really can help you skip certain chapters or not even jump line, but really take years off of your maturation process?
Facts. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
look,
So I've never had a male figure in my life that I could say, you know what, I want to be like that. Or I see myself through him. Like I see that. Because I believe we can't be what you don't see. Whether
correct?
it's vision God gives you or somebody in front of you, you know, I want to be like him. How can I learn from him? So my OG found me before I found him. He watched me before I watched him. And then when time was right, he pulled me to the side. He's in the same company, same industry, but he was a higher up level, right? So he said, I want to pull you to the side and show you how this game really works. I'm gonna put you in rooms with the rest of us who we need a successor. You're gonna be that person. You are our protege.
I
And they
love it.
chose me.
I love it.
And so that helped me in the aspect of in the financial industry, how to grow my practice, mm, how to be a sponge to the leaders that were trying to give me game for a trajectory I couldn't see.
Mm,
Whether
mhm.
whether 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 it ended up happening or not, that pushed me to a different level of confidence and understanding about it's a bigger game than just me. That we really try to build like levels that what they call it's a word nepotism.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Like that right there, I learned that through them. What that really was.
That's a big thing. But you, I want to give you flowers right here again too. In order for them to even see that in you, you had to become a certain person. You had to become something they saw something in. And you know, because me myself, my mentor too found me. I have multiple in different areas, but my mentor too found me and introduced. It was actually conversations had about me in other rooms that I wasn't even privy to about
Man,
me. And so, I was being my truthful and authentic self. I wanted
yeah.
to learn a lot about myself. I wanted to, help those around me. And they actually thought I was a salesman. AJ, I'm an engineer by day,
A
and they
full
thought I was
two different spectrums.
totally. And they thought I was in sales, and they thought I was in sales, and even two of them even tried to hire me on to work for their companies. I didn't want to do that, which in a sense brought me even closer because they saw a lot in me that I couldn't see in myself. And even one of our meetings, he mentioned, he said, "Man, you're thinking too small. You're thinking small." I told him a vision that I have for my life, and he's like, "No, you're thinking way too small. Who you are, what you're trying to achieve, you're thinking way down here. You need to be thinking up here." And so, like you said, that's something that I couldn't even see in myself at that point. Now I read all kind of books. I read all kind of literature. I talked to a lot of different people, but it does help someone who's been where you're trying to go. And I've actually had one tell me, he said, "I'm on the other side of the fence, and the grass is greener." I even heard him say that. And so I was like, man, I grew up thinking it was a negative connotation. Like the grass ain't green on the other side, that kind of a deal. But he used it in a way that he was like, look, you trying to get over here, and I'm telling you it's better.
They get
It's
better.
better over here. But and I love it about him. He kind of spoke in parables. He didn't give me any answers. He made me want to go seek it out
Couldn't
myself.
stand that. Well, like, man, this too much for me to do, man. Just get it
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
Come on.
All right. So now this ain't lastly, but this is your labor of love that I want to talk about next. Your labor of love. Tell me, what is Coupes Corner?
Man. Coupes Corner is a destination location. It is a elevated dining bar experience. It is one of one. Coupes Corner is the HQ, the headquarters of everything Black, beautiful, and culturally appreciated. So we are, based on what the streets say, the hottest in the city.
Tell the people where you're located. Tell them where you're located.
Downtown, at that downtown Greenville on the
Right
west
across the
end.
street from the Gather
Yeah.
for you guys who are Greenville locals. And I want to tell you, I have been there multiple times, and it hurt me a little bit because I was trying to get out there earlier, but my schedule really wouldn't allow. But now that
Yeah.
my kids a little bit older, I got a little more free time. I'm living on a plan, and by schedule, I was like, man, let me go ahead and take a look at it. Now, this is what I was saving from earlier. I already known that you had opened up this business, right?
Yep.
And the talk was even bigger. I guess the talk around town was even bigger. Like finally, individuals of a certain stature have a place to go and enjoy. And it's one of those things where you got a perfect blend of business, functionality. You got a lot of fun, live music, different types of music. The ambiance is open to the street. Literally, like the front opens up to the street. So, how did you go about that design? Like that design you guys put together was amazing.
I can't take all the credit.
Okay.
My business partner already had the location. So he already had the name, location, fully functioning. That's his baby. We met through a mutual contact via text message.
I was gonna go
And
there.
then the power of networking years ago brings me here to this business opportunity. Is how it happened. He and I met and just talked about his story, who I was. We had some relatability. He knew about my socials. I said, hey, how about you come out to my social and speak? Let everybody know who you are. Let's get Coupes Corner jumping. Like, we did it in July of 24, and that was during the midterm elections, too. So we had 3 politicians out there, plus he came out there. It was Carl Allen, I believe. Derek Coles was running for District 25. And I think Wendell Jones came out to speak. And so he got to meet my group. My partner did. And from there, he said, yeah, I need you to come on. Just come through. And then the more we talked, he realized I had a location downtown already that fell through 2 years prior to that. He said, I heard about that. I knew that was you. That makes sense. I said, yeah. I said, I'm thinking about getting back into the game because my old partner has now lost that location and I want to get it. I know I can work it out. He said, nah, you can do it with me. I said, what you mean? He said, I make you a co-owner. I make you one of my partners. We could do it together. I said, this your baby now. You sure you want me to He said, I realize who you are. I've seen what you've done. Like, that is, yeah, we can do that. And from there, we talked, made it happen, and have not looked back since.
Jay, that right there was a whole movie right there. And I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you why. Just the parts of how your life organically interconnected. Would you say that was a natural progression from AJ's social to Coop's Corner?
Everybody kept asking me, man, listen, it's time for you to get your own location, man. You done been all through Greenville, all through Easley, making all these folks money. You need your own. I said, yeah, but that ain't cheap. First off, and it is not cheap to do. It's a big lift by myself to do to run a location like that. I've been a cook before. I've been in a restaurant for 8 years prior to that. That's a lot of can't do it on my own. And then lo and behold, he and I meet.
Well, and do you think that that's kind of a I don't know. I'm gonna sit here and say that that's kind of a misnomer for individuals on the outside looking in. It's a lot of I haven't had anything like no nightclub or no bar or anything like that. But when you got so many moving pieces, planning, and then you want to see that off the ground, personal funds, own money. That means you saving up, you planning, and allocating those funds in a certain way. That ain't easy.
Yo,
And that's not easy at all. I mean, it's one of those things where you really want to pour a certain part of you into what you're trying to have in the end. I want a lot of individuals to get out of this conversation is that when you hit a roadblock, as you did with one of your other business, but there are always ways if you don't lose sight of that vision and you keep your energy elevated to a certain level, sometimes you become that magnet for the next opportunity. And that's
listen,
what I'm seeing with you.
man, had that deal stayed, it would have been horrible. So I'm glad it fell through. But to land where I landed,
Yeah.
I could not have written that myself. I could not have guessed it at all. I did not see that coming.
Well, how did you guys go about once you guys like this is what we're gonna do?
Yeah.
You came up with a name. This is the location. Blah blah blah. We have all this together. How did you guys go about planning all the different individuals that come into your spot? How, you guys was it also an attribute to you and your partner's former connection?
Yeah, so my partner was fairly new in Greenville, I believe. He got here in 2019, I think. So he's from West Africa originally, Benin. Then he moved to New York 20 something years, came down here. So he leaned on me to kind of be the magnet for the folks coming in. So all I did was use all of my connections and say, hey, you know about AJ Social? Now we're gonna be doing it. I got my own spot, now we're doing it here. Like, pull up.
I
So
love.
he and I curated events together that allowed us to separate ourselves from the not competition, but from what was already going on in Greenville. Like having designated days, having special events throughout the months, having a menu that speaks to the cultural location that we want to have, right? So a lot of folks that come through Coops are either those looking for that comfortable space of Black professionals, or they're from out of town looking for that space that reminds them of Philly, reminds them of being in California, reminds them of being in New York, reminds them of being in Atlanta. Like it gives them that out of town feel with an in-town experience. So they're used to the cultural dynamics of food, people, exposure. So they're comfortable being there no matter what they look like.
Yeah. Man, let me tell the viewers a little story that happened. With my very first time, it was my very first time in there, and we wouldn't even dress for the occasion. But let me tell you how AJ really is, and let me tell you what happened when I when I ended up doing this. So me and my wife, we had just left. I guess we were just leaving from the gather, and we heard music, good music, blasting, and then we seen a lot of people. We seen a lot. This is like before dark. I mean, this was the sun was very much up, and we just now finished eating dinner. And again, now I've seen AJ before this. I've seen AJ in the financial world, and I've also seen AJ in the very much social world. And I go by and I see this gentleman aiding other individuals while he had like drinks in his hand. He just clinked the table. Hey man, hey, come on in, check us out. That number one was so welcoming, so inviting, and that also showed that just because you're an owner, this dude still has the heart of service. And I think that that goes like beyond anything. Number one, you are living and walking in purpose. It's fully aligned with who you are as an individual. And I think that much of that success that you and your partner are having is because that is what you guys exude to the public. With this, he was already aiding and helping those around him, had cups in his hand, and he said, "Man, come on in, I'll show you around." And me, the person I am, I'm like, "No, I don't want to take you from, this is your establishment. I ain't trying to take you from that." Man, this is where the humility comes in. He was like, "Nah, nah." He put the stuff down, walked us through, showed us the spot. It was a beautiful spot. If you have not checked it out, go check out Coupes Corner. And he showed us the background, I mean, the back area, told us about what he was planning and stuff like that. Just in a sense of interdependentness as far as bringing the community together, man. That little show of affection, humility that you showed me and my wife, was big. When it was big. Now this is a nice establishment, y'all. This is a nice establishment run by two very well oiled machines. Two machines. I'm calling you.
Yeah,
Y'all, and if you not have had a chance to experience that Coops Corner vibe, that feel, it does seem bigger than Greenville. Now Greenville is growing,
yeah.
and I tell many people Greenville is definitely growing, and I think you guys really hit it dead on the head. And with the location is
Bless
very much walkable.
you cannot find a better location. 4 parking lots, easy access. It's not overcrowded as it is on North Main Street. I mean, it's easy. It's perfect. I don't know how he found it, but he found it.
Yeah, and the second one, I thought it was the first time, but the second time I came, me and my wife, we actually went down there impromptu. The kids was like they didn't have anything going. No, they had something going, and then we had this time that we could go down. And I said, "Hey, let's go check out Coop's Corner." So when we get down there, y'all, and I think that I don't know if I was walking with you or not. But we go in because Greenville haven't had a spot like this before. We go in, turn around, boom, Steve Smith, Carolina Panthers,
Oh yeah.
right there. Like Steve Smith, right there. And I say that because a lot of individuals who are famous haven't really had a spot to go chill, unwind, and just enjoy the ambiance. And that was a show like, whoa. I mean, if he coming from Charlotte down here, to this spot, hey, this is something.
So
So
that was during the BMW Pro Am. He was in town for that.
it was. What do you feel like when you see your baby take flight? You as the owner, like, what do you feel like when I know it's a lot of work going on, but does
Yeah.
it pull at your heartstrings a little bit?
It makes all the hard work worth it. It makes that night I was up to 4 in the morning working on something, had to get up at 6 and get to do something else, dealing with, staff rollover and last minute stuff happening. It makes it all worth it.
You know, with this one, with having your hand in so many things, so many current endeavors, how does AJ not lose his jank? How do you live off a planner, schedule everything out? How do you go about balancing your busy life?
But when I have no kids, so that's easy. It's just me.
Y'all hear that?
I really repetition for the most part. Like I know what to do every day based on what I did the previous week and what I got going on. It doesn't change for the most part. I just add on different things based on the week and what's going on. I might have to add 4 appointments this week, but I already have my stuff set up for Coupes Corner. I may have to go prospect 2 days this week, but I'm already set up on my regular stuff for everything else. So more so plug and play.
I'm telling you, you make it look easy, man. I mean,
Oh,
you look. I know it goes behind, but you make it look easy. And then you ain't no slouch. I mean, you ain't out of shape. Do you find time to hit the gym?
morning time, baby. Either morning or mid afternoon, one of the two. I have a routine in the morning time on breakfast. I do a homemade parfait. I get
Look at this, y'all. Look
six
at this.
ounces of 8 ounces of cold brew, 6 ounces of beet juice. I do ginger turmeric tea with cinnamon and pepper, honey. That's my morning routine. I might get lunch from what I cooked the day before, about 12, 1 o'clock. I might eat again at 7, maybe not. Yeah, I eat probably 2 meals a day.
AJ. Again, like I said, y'all, he make it look good. He make it look good. He make it look good.
I
But
appreciate
but,
it.
but we're gonna get to the point of this interview where I want to ask you three questions that you can kind of leave and impart wisdom on the viewer. You down for it? Okay. What keeps AJ Gladney motivated to keep going?
The competitive nature of being better than what I was yesterday.
You versus you, huh?
Yeah, me versus me all day long.
3 months, 3 years from now, what would you want our viewers to take away from this conversation that we had today?
Purpose driven, dedication, and intentionality.
Whoa. Look at him dropping bars, y'all. I love it. And last question, what is the best piece of advice you've received or the best piece of advice you can provide?
Best piece I would give is that if it's in you, then do it. If you feel it, if it's on
Ah.
you, just go do it. Go do it. Don't worry about the outcome. Just go do it. I've always lived by that. I've always jumped off the porch. I don't need a game plan. I don't need a business plan. I don't need any type of.
Mm.
I just go do it. And it's. I heard it one time before. You could jump out of a plane and build your plane at the same time. I'm gonna go jump first, and I figure it out along the way. I figure it out.
And I think, and I'm gonna use that. I too, on many adventures in the past, had that block, and it was one of those things where I wanted everything to be perfect before I started, but nothing is ever gonna be perfect until I start. And so I learned that I would always have to fail forward, and I love that about what I've seen from you. I know that you, and this is what I want you guys to get. This is coming from a quote unquote introvert. And he is giving free game. Like if there's an idea, if there's something you want to go do, don't wait for the time to be perfect. Don't wait to have all the money in the bank account. Let your idea work for yourself.
I
AJ,
mean, look, I got a TV for the first time last year in almost 10 years. For 10 years in stages, I went without TV, cable, or Wi-Fi on purpose. Telling you.
boy.
Yep.
See, look,
Yep.
I was trying to close this conversation out, man. See, this is intentional. This is intentionality is what he just now mentioned. So that's one man, okay,
I
let
stay
let
locked in.
can I talk about that just for a second?
Yeah, go
Just
ahead.
for
Mhm.
1 second.
Yeah.
One reason, and I use this example, and I was kind of preaching to the choir. I'm very busy myself. Again, I call myself an entrepreneur. Been an engineer for 19 years at the company that I work for. Kind of crafted out the lifestyle that I wanted with them, or currently became a photographer, utilized those funds to invest in real estate. And then now this is what my baby is here. And so I very much had to craft out the environment that was conducive for me to able to do this. And I read this one book. I don't know who wrote it, but it was a quote that said, once individuals around you say, "Man, that guy, he's busy, he's doing everything." That's typically when you're doing things right. That's typically when you're doing things right. And that guy or that woman does not waste time. And with you saying that you didn't have a TV for how many years?
So it started from I went time without cable, using antenna, then time without Wi-Fi, time without TV. Over 10 years span, it all ended up being like none of it. Made it all the way.
How did you come up with that years ago? Because I'm pretty sure in college you had it.
When I was in Charlotte. So I will also say at 34, 32, I didn't have Wi-Fi cable. But at 34 is when God really spoke to me in numbers. He said, number 7, that's you. That's your number. I'm sitting there, I'm watching Law and Order, SBU, on the antenna, and he said 7. Where did 7 come from? So I thought about it. Okay, I'm 34. That's 4 plus 3, 7. I
Mm,
started doing my name, Anthony. That's 7 letters. Gladney, 7 letters. Okay. I was born in January. That's 7 letters exactly. That's one of 2 months in the year with 7 letters. Born on the 14th, given in the 7th. So I started seeing sevens all in my life. Went to the Bible. That's completion. So
completion.
I'm just sitting on it. And then I realized that as humans, we overconsume dietarily, auditory. We take too much stuff in. I said, you know what? I'm going to step back. Antenna and this TV at some point in time. I just stepped back, and I just went ghost that way in my own personal space. Just kept it clean.
Now, a follow up to that. Do you find that you read different literature to take up some of that void time? Do you
Yeah.
add workouts in, or how do you get your mental and spiritual growth?
So I journal a lot. If I have a business idea, I start putting down notes on my computer about this idea. I may ever touch it again, but I've got it written down. I'm thinking about it 2 weeks, 3 weeks. All right, cool. I dumped it. I'm good. I'll come back to it in a couple of years possibly and look at it again. I read, I pray, I work out. I've tried meditation. I haven't been
Yeah.
as consistent with it, but I just kind of do things that feed my spirit in solitude.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, he dropped gems. He is dropping gems. I too subscribe to that same thing. I try to a lot. I try to give my time purpose. I think Miles Monroe said it, the Bohemian pastor. And he said, I don't want to waste my time. And, in doing so, he allot every single second of his day, he gives it a task.
Yeah.
And with you saying, I'm going to be intentional about this. I don't want to waste time. And like I said, overconsumption, that's a huge thing. And as I'm crafting out this podcast, the show, I realize as much as I do as being a father and a husband, there's still time in my day. It's just how do I use that hour, hour and 15 minutes that I get? How do I
Yeah.
use it? And so I fill that up. And I pretty much don't consume, of course, with me, I have my, a daddy time. I have my honey, let's sit down and chat time and stuff like that. But I have to live off a schedule just to make sure I don't waste time. And one of the things that I found out in the last 3 years, I really don't like watching TV. I don't like watching TV because with this, it's like, and I told this to my boys, it's like when one of the things that used to just burn me up is like walking to their room and they watching somebody else play a video game. Like you're double wasting time.
Yeah.
You number one watching somebody play a video game in which you got a video game that you could waste your own time, but I'm just trying to watch. And so I kind of use that same thing with the social media world today. We're sitting out here watching people who living on command. I'm gonna say, like you, everyone watching you sticking out like a beacon, you shine into all these dark corners because you very much live your life intentionally. And so you stick out like a sore thumb in a good way. But it's like you're choosing not to subscribe to the same programming that I could say, quote unquote, the masses want you to do. And you living a purpose filled life. Man, and one of the questions that I had in the queue was there something that the world doesn't know about AJ? That's one of them right there, but that
That's
is one of them. The man don't waste time.
my to myself type thing that I know about me, everybody should know about. Won't even believe it because I'm always outside. I'm always when you see me, I'm on the go. You never really see me sit still. So people assume I'm always doing that. Nah, I'm not. And I cook too. So like
All right. So for the viewers, he can answer this question or he ain't got to. Ladies, if y'all look this man does not play around. He don't play around. You know, in that retrospect, man. But no, man, I very much so love the life that you crafting out for yourself. And I
thank you, man.
know just all these gems that you've dropped, a lot of individuals that sitting on the stool will do nothing, will take these words and definitely implement them into their life. And it shouldn't fall on deaf ears because you were dropping gems the entire time. And if this individual can have all of these endeavors with a smile, that's something that we can all live and aspire to achieve in our own lives in any kind of way, and thus that is why I was so enamored to have you, AJ, on this show today. Is there anything else that you want the viewers to know? How can they find you on the socials or anything like that?
Instagram, I think is AJAYG underscore 110. Facebook, AJ Gladney. LinkedIn, Anthony Gladney. Anthony J. Gladney. Coupes Corner is Coupes Corner GBL on Instagram and TikTok, and it's Coupes Corner on Facebook.
Y'all gotta go out there.
Pull up
Y'all
on
see
me, boy.
the man, the myth, the legend is right here. Please go out there and check him out. He is. If you don't go to daggone Coupes Corner for Coupes Corner, go say what up,
What's
just AJ.
happening? That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
You say hey to us. Come say hey.
I know. I know. I know it. Well, AJ, I'm not gonna take much more of your time. I really appreciate you coming on Talks with Ken platform.
Appreciate it,
And
big
my
dog.
my
Thank you, man.
viewers will definitely get a lot out of this conversation. And again, I'm gonna be at Coops myself, so I'll see you later. Okay.
Listen, you keep doing your thing, man. 10 toes down, 100 miles an hour one way. It's going to all
All right, man. All right, till our next sit down, and I'll see you later, sir. Okay.
bet. All right, take
All right,
care.
see y'all.